Good morning, students. In today's class, I am going to continue chapter 13, Organism and Population. In the last class, we have discussed major abiotic factors. In today's class, I am going to discuss with you the response of organism towards the abiotic factors. First of all, what are the abiotic factors? Let us recall one more time. So in the last class, we have discussed the effect of abiotic factors on the organisms, and they were temperature, light, water and soil. In today's class, I am going to discuss with you the response of organisms to the abiotic factors. Response of organism, responses to abiotic factors. Responses to abiotic factors. As we know, these abiotic factors are change seasonally and in time in different habitats. They are not constant in all habitats. In time they may be changing time to time. So what is the effect of this change of abiotic factors on the organisms? Whether organism cope with these change environmental conditions or they may come under the stressful condition. So before we answer for this question, we have to understand one thing. During the course of millions years of existence of organisms, many organisms have developed a constant internal environment inside their body, and which permits many biochemical actions and physiological functions, and that make the organism fit. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಜೀವ ವಿಕಾಸವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದುವಾಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಿಂದ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ, ಬಯೋಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ, ಫಿಸಿಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಸಮನಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಎಫಿಸಿಯೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಡೆಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಇದರಿಂದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಇರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಹೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್ meaning it is a process. The organism always try to maintain constant internal environment in terms of optimal temperature and optimal osmotic concentration of body fluid despite of change in the external environmental factors. So this is the definition of homeostasis. One more time I am going to repeat you. So I will write down the definition. So what is homeostasis? It is a process. It is a process where organisms always try to maintain constant internal environment, which is in terms of optimal temperature and osmotic concentration of body fluid or internal fluid despite of change in external environment. ಹೊರಗೆ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ, ತಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಆಸ್ಮಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವು ಸತತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾವ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರ? ಹೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದ್ರೆ ಆಸ್ಮಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದ್ರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾವ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾವ. ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರ? ಹೋಮಿಯೋಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So that based on how organism responds to the external environment, we are classifying organisms into 3 types. So in your NCERT book they have given a small graph where they have shown the organisms which show what kind of response, and based that they are classified into 3 types of organisms. Let us see what are those animals. A simple graph which shows internal environment or internal temperature, and this is external environment or external temperature level. This is internal temperature level and this one is external temperature level. So the internal temperature level here -10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 or 50 degree centigrade. Here also I am going to write -10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So as the temperature of the external environment rises, so internal temperature of organism also rises in many organisms. But in case of mammals, for example, if you take the human being body, taking an example of human being, where the temperature of human being or human body is always constant. So in between 30 to 40 means it's a 37 degrees centigrade. The human body temperature is always 37 degrees centigrade. It's constant. Whether the temperature decreases or the temperature increases, there is no variation in the temperature of human body. It's always maintained 37 degree only. And these organisms are called the regulators. They are called the regulators. Means regulators are those, in spite of change in the environmental temperature, without bothering those change in the environmental temperature level, they always try to maintain a constant body temperature, and that is because of using their energy. To maintain this constant temperature, they have to use their energy, that is in the form of ATP. They utilize ATP to maintain this constant body temperature whenever there is a change in external temperature level. And this thing is happening by 2 processes. One is by profuse sweating and by shivering. So these 2 physiological actions help the organisms to maintain constant body temperature, and that too by utilizing ATP. And such group of organisms which always try to maintain their constant body temperature by using ATP, they are called the regulators. This is one group of organisms. Second group is conformer. Second group of organisms are called the conformer. So this is the next group of organisms. And these are not able to maintain constant body temperature because they don't have such a amount of ATP to spend to maintain body temperature. As the temperature rises or decreases in environment, according to that temperature, their body temperature also varies. If the environmental temperature rises, their body temperature also rises. If the environmental temperature decreases, their body temperature also decreases. They tolerate this increase to one certain extent or level. After that, they are not able to tolerate and they escape or shift from the stressful condition to normal condition, or they hide themselves in a safer place. Otherwise, they will get burned. As the temperature rises, if the internal temperature of organism body also rises, they are not able to tolerate this one. They burn internally. To avoid this one, they shift from that stressful condition to the normal condition wherever it is available, or they hide themselves. They go for hibernation, activation to hide from this stressful condition. And such group of organisms are called the conformer, or we may also call these organisms are cold-blooded animals. And another group of organisms are there which are called the partial conformer. The next group is called the partial conformer. Partial conformer means they act both as regulators as well as conformers. So as the temperature increases or decreases, they also adjust their body temperature according to environmental temperature. Suppose their temperature increases, their body temperature also increases, like just like a conformer. Only certain stage. After that, if it is intolerable, they shift from conformer to the regulators. They utilize some ATP and try to maintain a constant body temperature. Means for certain level they act as a conformer. When it is not tolerable, so they shift from conformer to the regulators, and these group of organisms are called the partial conformers. So what kind of response organisms show towards the abiotic factors? The organisms are classified into three groups. Regulators means maintain body temperature constantly by utilizing ATP despite there is any change in the external environment. Conformers, according to environmental change, they also change their body temperature at a certain level. After that, they hide themselves or shift or escape from that stressful condition. They are called the conformer. And partial conformers are those which act both as a conformer as well as regulator, because one certain level they act as a conformer. Behind that the condition goes, they shift to the conformer to the regulators. By using ATP, they try to maintain constant temperature. So these are the three groups of organisms. But now there are many organisms which are not able to maintain the temperatures, like for example plants where this process is not there. So many organisms, they show the different kinds of responses, and there are 4 different types of responses are shown by the organisms. So let us see what are those responses shown by the organisms. Response of organisms to abiotic factor. So organisms show 4 type of responses to abiotic factor. One is they regulate. Second one is conform. Third one is migrate. And fourth response is suspend. So these are the 4 types of responses shown by the organisms. First we'll discuss about the regulate. So some organisms able to maintain the constant body temperature by means of physiological activity, and which ensures constant body temperature and osmotic concentration. So So some organisms, they maintain the constant body temperature by physiological means, as just now I told you, either by shivering or by profusely the sweating. They maintain their constant body temperature by using ATP. And example for regulators are, so the birds, mammals, are usually regulators, and very few lower vertebrates, very few lower vertebrates, and invertebrate species, and some invertebrate species. So these are regulate. They always try to maintain constant body temperature by physiological means, sometimes behavior also. So according to evolutionary biologists, they believe that success of mammals is largely due to their ability to maintain constant body temperature and thrive whether they live in Antarctica or in the Sahara Desert. So the mammals and birds can live both in Antarctica or Sahara Desert because they have an ability to maintain the constant body temperature. So ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಅಂಟಾರ್ಟಿಕಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಬದುಕಬಹುದು, ಸಹರಾ ಡೆಸರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಬದುಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. Then how can they regulate? So by taking an example of human being only, the constant body temperature of human being is 37 degree. 37 degree is the constant body temperature of human being. During summer season, what happens? The temperature of the environment goes beyond this 37 degree, or it is higher than the 37 degree, higher in summer. The environmental temperature is higher in summer than the human body temperature, that is 37 degree. In such a situation, human being profusely sweat and makes the cooling condition. The body has the water layer by sweating, which gives the cooling effect. So this is a physiological means that maintains the temperature. During cold season or winter season, when the environmental temperature is lesser than the human body temperature, or that is 37 degree, the environmental temperature is more lesser than the human body temperature, that is 37 degree. In such a situation, during winter, when the environmental temperature is lesser than the 37 degree, so the human being, the shiver, and that is a kind of exercise which generates the heat and that raises the body temperature. So these two are physiological means to maintain constant body temperature, but this process we not see in the plants. Plants do not have this ability. The next response is conform. The next response of organism is conform. Majority of animals and all the plants are conformer because they are not able to maintain constant body temperature. So these conformers change their body temperature according to environmental temperature or conditions. If the aquatic animals are there, their body osmotic concentration changing according to the outside environmental water osmotic concentration. So these are for the conformers. So considering the benefits of maintaining constant internal environment, why should not these conformers have not become regulators. ಈ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇದೆ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳಾಗಿ ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು? ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜನರಿಗೂ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎ ಸಿಯನ್ನ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎ ಸಿಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ನ ಕೂಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೂ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನೇಚರ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜೀವಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ATPಯನ್ನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಸ್ಮಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲದಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾವ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾವ. ತಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ತಾಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ಅದ್ರ ನಂತರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಕೈ ಚೆಲ್ತಾವ. ತಮ್ಮ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಫಿಸಿಯನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾವ. ಆಸ್ ಎ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಸಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಸ್ವೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು 100% ಎಫಿಸಿಯನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರ್ಸಕ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನ, ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೋತಾನೋ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ. So thermoregulation is the expensive process. Energy spending, or it is energetically is an expensive process. Particularly it is applied to the smaller animals like shrews and hummingbirds. Shrews and hummingbirds. These are very small animals. Hummingbirds. So these shrews and hummingbirds, very small animals. So they are not able to maintain the constant body temperature because the heat gain and heat loss takes place through body surface. It's a function of surface area. The surface area loses the vast heat from the body, and the organisms are not able to replace this heat by utilizing the large amount of ATP. Because the volume of these organisms is very small, but their surface area is large. If you take the elephant, the surface area of elephant is smaller when compared to its volume. And these organisms can maintain their constant temperature by generating the heat or by becoming cold by using energy. Because they can produce ATP very quickly because they have the huge volume when compared to their surface area. But smaller animals, their surface area is more when compared to their volume. So when the heat is escaping fastly on their surface area, they have to utilize a lot of energy to generate this heat from their metabolical activity. Hence, the smaller animals like shrews and hummingbirds rarely found in polar region. So polar regions ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಬರೋದು ತೀರಾ ವೀರಡ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ಗೆ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವುಗಳ ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹೀಟ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಹೋದಂತ ಹೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿಯನ್ನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಷ್ಟು ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರೋದು ಬಹಳ ವೇಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So by taking the consideration of cost and benefits of maintaining internal environment, so we can say that some species have evolved ability to regulate, but only over limited range of environmental condition. So ಇದರ ಎಷ್ಟು ATP ಖರ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಲಾಭ ಇದೆ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸಿದಾಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜೀವಿಗಳು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿದಾವ, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿದಾವ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ವರೆಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಂತನ ಮೀರಿ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಮಿತಿ ಮೀರಿದಾಗ ಅವುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ there are two alternate ways to escape such a stressful condition, and they are, one is migration, another one is suspension. Let us discuss the next response of organism, that is migrate. When the abnormal conditions are localized or remain only for a short duration, the organism migrate from stressful condition to more hospitable area. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಬ್ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಅದರಿಂದ ತಪ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆ ಸ್ಥಳವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ವಲಸೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವ, ಮೈಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ಈ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರ, ಮೈಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ the colder or winter season, some of the birds from the many countries like Siberia, they migrate to the Keolado National Park in Rajasthan. Keolado National Park in Bharatpur, Rajasthan is hosting thousands of birds and animals, and many Siberian cranes are migrating to this area for a short period, and once the stressful condition over in their original area, they again go back to their original area, and this process we call the response is called the migrate. The fourth one is suspend. Fourth response is suspend. Suspend means whenever stressful condition is there in the external environment, organisms, animals and plants, for a short while until the favorable conditions come back, they stop their activities, or they undergo a short period of rest, or they undergo hiding themselves against such a stressful condition, because they are not able to migrate. So wherever they are, they hide themselves against this stressful condition. So first example we see in the bacteria, fungi and lower plants. Examples in bacteria and fungi and in some plants. During unfavorable condition means the conditions which are not suitable for these organisms survival. During unfavorable condition, these organism spores develops a thick wall around themselves. They produce a thick wall, and this thick wall protect the inner content of spore, and then such spores are called the endospores. When conditions are become normal, this thick wall degenerate again, they continue their generation. This is a type of suspend. The organism stop all their activities for a short while or during unfavorable condition. The second one is we see in some of the higher plants. In higher plants, when the conditions are not normal for the germination of seeds or continuation of plant life cycle, these seeds are not germinating and they undergo for a short while resting stage. And this non-germinating stage is called the dormancy. This is called the dormancy period. So one is endospore formation or thick wall formation around the spore, and second one is non-germination of seed is called the dormancy. So these two things we see in the usually in plants and bacteria and fungi. And next, the suspend activities we see in the animals are, in animals what kind of suspend activities we see in animals. hibernation or aestivation or diphos. Diphos. So when they undergo rest during winter or hide themselves during winter, that is called a hibernation. Example, bear. So during the colder conditions or winter season, when they are not able to tolerate such a cold condition, they hide themselves, and that process is called the hibernation. Example, deer. And aestivation is hiding themselves during summer season or hot condition. Example, snails and fishes. Snails and fishes during summer season or hot condition, they hide themselves, and that process is called the aestivation. A frog can show both hibernation and aestivation. And zooplanktons are not take a small rest. Zooplanktons, they not show any activity, they undergo inactive state. That condition is called the diphos. So these are the three suspend activities we see in the animals. So in the next class we continue adaptations in the animals and plants towards the different habitats. Thank you.